So for episode 8, Love is Blind Denver, we start off with Nick and Annie. She loves everything about Nick. She is emotional and passionate, and she's emotional and passionate about him. I was just doing that. I guess I'm getting Joe is rubbing off on me because I'm like, because I don't get it, but it ain't for me to get. So Nick says, the only thing that put him off is her putting words in his mouth. She did apologize and she loves him so much. He said he loves her crazy and needs her crazy. And I'm like, uh-oh, don't tell her that because the great crazy gonna amp up. It's gonna amp up. The song they play is I Love You at Your Worst. Is this the worst? I don't think so. Joe and Madison, his family's coming to town and he's getting excited. He said he cannot believe her family is so excited. She says she never introduced anyone to her family. Now, he's concerned that she doesn't show that she's worried. And showing you're worried is more human. And she's like, wait a minute, I am sure about you. She is, she's saying, I'm scared too. But just because I don't show it doesn't mean I'm not scared. She's like, I knew when I signed up, what I was signing up for. That's why I'm not so scared. So he said, yeah, he's 100% in, but it's hard. And she's like, whoa, what's hard about this? What's hard about this? Now, he's having a hard time that she's not showing she's scared or having a struggle on the show. When she's saying, why are you struggling if you all in? And they both like going in circles. And he wonders, why is she so excited, not showing a struggle? He wants to be able to tell her he is struggling. And she's like, why are you struggling if you're 100% in? Y'all are like, ding, 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 ding. Y'all are fighting too much about, I want to say foolishness, but y'all not hearing each other. Y'all aren't hearing each other. You, young lady, are not outwardly showing you're scared. And he feels like, okay, you're further along in the process than him. He's telling you he is scared. Yes, he's 100% in, but it's scary. And you're not listening to him. You're like, why are you scared? So she gets mad when he says, the experiment is not a normal thing. And she's like, well, I don't know why I'm weighing your ring. I don't understand why I'm weighing your ring. She gets the ring box, y'all. She puts the ring in the box and puts it on the counter. And he's just there goofing off like, I'm like, what am I watching? What am I watching? What exactly did I just watch right now? I'm like, one is upset you're not showing a struggle, and one is having a little bit of struggle and unhappy that they're showing it. Y'all need to just leave the experiment. 20 days until the wedding. We see Jordan and Megan. We are at his apartment. It's a 1-bedroom. His bed, though, is in the living room. Everything for his son is set up in the bedroom. And she's saying, we ain't sleeping with the TV on. When he said he sleeps with the TV on. Now, as I said, his son has the bedroom. They have a moment about, some of the son's toys, and they talk about their future and what it is to be, parents to his son. It was a wonderful moment. We go to Allie and Anton. She gets home from work. He also gets home from work. They both work overnight. And I'm wondering if he is a driver because he is in transportation logistics, and he was saying he was teaching a young man to drive all night. So she, though, is coming there. He's already set up at the counter. He's starting to prepare the steaks. I would say season, but I ain't see no seasoning. Tell me if you saw seasoning. But they were preparing it, and she pushes him. She hip checks him so he can move to the other side of the counter. I said, girl, it doesn't have to be your way, okay? Anton says, your grumpy is coming out. I said, no, don't tell her that. Now, they do steak and eggs, and the eggs are kind of over easy. And I'm like, ooh, real easy. Okay. She's like, so you cook, I clean? He's like, yeah, we could do that. She's like, and if we both don't want to cook, are we going to hire a private chef? He's like, I don't know about all that. So she does tell him she'll be in school full time. And the last time she was in school full time, her mom held everything down. She was not doing anything, no cleaning, no doing the food, nothing. So Anton is looking at her like, yeah. And what exactly are you trying to say? I ain't your mama. That was the look on Anton's face for me. He's like, I ain't your mama. He's like, okay, you can work 1 or 2 days a week. It'll be fine. I could hold this down financially. Allie said, hey, school's expensive. So since he holding everything down financially, then maybe she can get the Botox since he can support both of them. He's like, wait a minute. We got to be on a budget. Okay, we got to have a budget. I don't think Allie wants to hear budget. Because in her budget is a $10,000 ring, and in your budget, sir, is not. So they talk about a joint account. They had agreed to have a joint account when they get married. And she's like, yeah, but we can have joint and separate. So he's like, well, what's the benefit of separate? I don't see a benefit to having a separate. Allie's like, I don't want to tell you how much I spent on Botox. How about that? So he pivots, and I don't know if it's production, but he's like, I ain't going there. He pivots to, lettered sweaters with their initials or some cutesy like Mr. and Mrs. He calls it engraved sweaters. And I was like, we don't engrave stuff that you don't cut into. So she feels like he's being weird. He's like, I'm tired. I've been up for almost 24 hours. I am a little weird. I'm tired. But she does not feel like he's being honest with her. I don't know what to tell you, Allie. He was doing way better than I would being up 24 hours. Next up, we see it is 19 days until the weddings. Edmund and KB. His mom visits. Y'all, this visit, give me a moment. Mama, you told me a whole lot. Oh, Mama, you explained a whole lot about Edmund to me. And Edmund, you showed me your serious side. Edmund's overexuberance, I now understand. It is explained to me with Mama's visit. So let's get into it. Mama asked why KB picked her son. What coconut fell out of the tree and hit your head? I said, Mama, I know you're making a joke, but it didn't sit well with me. It's like, what made you pick my lovely boy? That I could have taken. But what coconut fell out of the tree and hit your head? Okay, Mama. But hey, you Edmund's mama, I'm going to pay you some respect, okay? Mama does say that, and her name, I believe, is Carrie, that Edmund has seen a lot. There are things that he doesn't even share with her, and she's his mother. But she is so happy that he's found a soulmate, and, that he can unlock everything he puts away and locks in a box, that he can unlock it and share it with KB. Give her the key to that box. Now, she has a gift for KB. She says she's given it to all her daughters-in-law. They are cultural beads, and she says she will show Edmund how the beads are put on so that it's between them and it's a moment between the couple. And I thought that was wonderful because she said he will adorn you with these beads that are a gift. The gift is made in Ghana. It is not made by the mom, but the mom does invite her to go to Ghana with her. Edmund does pray over breakfast, and he gets emotional during the prayer. Now, this whole thing, Edmund also said he almost went to Ghana with his mom. So I'm wondering if mom goes to Ghana regularly or any of her children in Ghana, because she was talking about the kids, looking out for her while she was in Ghana. I'd like to know more. But she tells them that destiny will unfold. Don't stress about stuff. And when you're trying to figure it out, life will certainly throw you a curveball. So KB leaves, and Mama and Edmund are there. He is saying he is the only single son and it's time he gets married. Mama said the girls that he have been with before were some good ones because she raised a good son. Now I'm going to put a star right there. Edmund has said was raised in and out of the system. And I understand, Mama. I understand what you're trying to say. I understand. I'm going to leave it there. Y'all could put it in the comments. She says she put in a lot of work in raising them. And she can't just have anyone get her sons. And that's when I lost it. Mama, just about anyone had them in foster care. I'm not blaming you. There are points in people's lives where they struggle and they certainly need help. And there's sometimes when the kids need someplace else to be. But let us not forget Edmund said that 5th grade teacher saved his life. Let us not forget that. And I wonder, it's given me a revision of history. It's given me that Mama hasn't dealt with this stuff. It's given me that Mama wants to be the hero in her children's story and life, and she hasn't processed it all. I don't know why it's given me that, but it's the way she talks about that. She put a lot into raising them. You could say, hey, I put a lot into the relationship now because, it was struggle for years. Mama don't know, we know. And that's the other thing. Mama don't know Edmund has told us what's going on or what has gone on in his life. So Mama does tell us she went to KB's IG with her sister. I said, no. And Auntie said, nah, looking at the IG. But mama said, hey, I had to reserve judgment. I wanted to meet her. And she does like KB upon meeting her. And I said, mama, what thirst trap photos did you see? What is on this IG? Y'all, I have not gone to look. You could go look and report back to me, but I ain't going to look. Because if the instant you saw the IG, you were like, I'm getting a vision. Mama says, hey, we are not perfect, but we love really hard. She's not going to tell him to put his life off because tomorrow isn't promised. But she does see how KB and Edmund fit with each other. Now, she kept on saying she said she felt a baby is headed her way. We need to stop that. We need to stop putting on this, oh, I feel a baby coming and somebody around me. Don't, because that puts pressure on a new couple. They haven't even said yes yet. Mama don't even know that we practice in celibacy. No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Don't tell a new couple that. Talk to the other people. This shouldn't even come up. But she said some of her daughter-in-laws rat her out to her sons. They run back crying to her sons. I said, ma'am, what are we saying to these young ladies? What are you saying for them that they're running crying? Now, I'm thinking literal running crying. But then it's more like she wants a confrontation. Because when KB comes in on that part of the conversation, she's like, I know you'll hold your own. You ain't going to be running back to my son. And KB's like, you sure right. I can handle my own. Ain't everything got to go back to him? What are we doing, ladies? Why does this sound like a toxic mother, daughter, or mother-in-law? It seems like you're trying to control mama, and I don't like it, mama. She says that KB, if she doesn't go running back telling her son, will be the first out of 4 daughter-in-laws that won't do that. I said, no way. She said, men are simple. Mama said, men are simple. You just need a little acknowledgement. She thanks him for being her son and an awesome son. And she says, all her sons make her proud. She's like, don't bring a woman home unless they are worthy. And since this is important to Edmund, it is important to her. And the song they play is I Couldn't Imagine. I couldn't imagine this kind of visit. I couldn't imagine. Mama done told me that I can't love her son unless a coconut hit me in the head. Mama done told me don't be running back telling her son all the foolishness she probably gonna come at me with. I didn't like this visit. I know it was calm, cool, collected or whatever, but I'm peeping some stuff. I'm peeping some revisionist history. I'm peeping that you have glossed over stuff in order to appease yourself, to not make yourself or not deal with the bad situations or when you were the bad guy in their life. But mama, I understand why Edmund is so exuberant now. I understand it. And while people want to diagnose him, put him on a spectrum, whatever, I can understand why. Because if you look at him in this entire time, Edmund is low tone. He is low tone. And I wonder if he is low tone because he knows he couldn't be exuberant. He had to keep himself still. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, please go and look and see why a child may have to be still or quiet around a parent or any type of authority figure. Go look that up. Because when she's gone, he's going to go back to his, woohoo, yeah. I'm clocking it now with Edmund. This told me a lot about him. I hope it told you a lot about him as well. Joe and Madison, they go to his studio apartment. He apologizes. And she says, hey, I put my ring back on. He said he will do everything he can to keep the ring on her hand. He has a ton of self-help books. And I said, ooh, they ain't helping. Joe, they ain't helping. Or maybe you glossed over them. But he has a coffee station that she said looked like a hotel coffee station. But y'all, in his freezer, he has those meats, okay? The meats are vacuum sealed. And it's vacuum sealed with a date handwritten on it like he went hunting for it. Now, I know it's Denver. You could go to the mountains and you could hunt for your own meat and have it packaged and processed. But I wonder, are the butchers doing that in Denver? Handwriting the stuff? Or is Joe out hunting? Y'all let me know. 18 days until the wedding. Megan and Jordan, they meet her mom, Jane, and her sister, Jessica. This is the 4th anniversary of her dad's passing, so it's a very trying day for them all. But mom does make jokes, you don't need sleeves because you got tattooed sleeves. That's what it's called, right? And, Jessica, the sister, does say she had a dream about dad. The dream about the dad kept on saying, the son is like me, the son is not like me, and this is the only way to get her to know. So the family is very open. They talk about everything. The sister thinks that the vasectomy is very progressive, and he's like, "Hey, I just, wanted to be able to take my time, and not have, kids until I'm ready." And I'm like, I still think at 25 you were just trying to party without anybody coming back and saying they got a kid by you. So he said it's 50-50 custody with his son, but the son will not be living with them full time. He didn't even know what the food was on the table. And Megan said, "Hey, remember we had it this morning?" And she's like, "We have to navigate our diets too, because he has a very simple diet and I'm, a little more out there." So she held her emotions in, she said, most of the day. And they talk through it later because he's like, "This is my first time experiencing you through this anniversary. And I have other things going on too. I have a son, I'm a parent, I have other things going on, but I don't know how you need me unless you say something." She says she thought that her feelings would make her person leave her because previous exes didn't want to deal with her and her emotions. And the mom says, she's on board. Mom says she's on board. Sister says she's on board. And mom's like, "You didn't even ask me for her hand." So Megan goes to the bathroom and Jordan, says, "Hey, with all honesty, I'm asking you for her hand and your blessing." And the sister tells of how the dad saw the mom in an elevator. When the elevators opened, he saw her and he knew right away that that was his wife. The song they play is "Spread Love." Annie and Nick, they're at Nick's house. It's a cabin house. He says the elk come through the back of the house. And Annie's like, "This is perfect for us." The garage is the man cave. And he shows us medals where he has run several marathons. He was on Team USA for one event. And he has a big sail for his ice boat. And he said he's a size queen. Now, Nick, I know all y'all out there are going to use this against Nick about what y'all think his preference are. Nick, that did not help. That did not help. I know you're trying to be funny and talk to your girl, but it did not help you saying you a size queen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So his car, he said, is his side piece. He does have a race simulator in the garage and not in the house. It's his, area where he plays his video games. And I was like, interesting. Was it always in the garage? Because it could be in a corner of the living room where there's actual heat. Okay? Now, she thought he was a homebody. Remember, y'all? She thought he didn't want to do much, didn't want to see much. And I'm like, you see all the marathons he done ran. You see he has a map of the world where he has pins in it as to everywhere he's been. Yeah, what are we talking about in the pods? But he says she has a business in town and she can't just run to her clients if they lived in the mountains. She says she can't leave now. She can't leave her apartment now. But he said, hey, he's not asking her to do that. They need to come up with a plan. She wants him to come live with her at our apartment, she said, and for a few months, and then they can buy a house. Now, he does look dejected, y'all. Because it looks like she doesn't see the value in that place because it's an hour away from her business. And she says she doesn't want to ask him to give up his home. He's like, "No, you're not asking me to give up my home. You're asking me to live with you and maybe we can seek another place to live, but we will always have this." He's saying it's not a bad thing. He say, coming to his place will be more special because it'll be visits, maybe the weekends. But it's about them being together and not about a specific place. I don't buy it, Nick, but I'm glad you said it. Because she was like, thanks for saying it. She was fulfilled. I don't buy it. Song they play is "Let Me Stay Right Here." That is what Nick is saying. Let me stay in my place. Let me stay here. Madison and Joe, they meet Joe's family, the mom, dad, sisters, and the mom's ex-husband. Is ex-husband really Joe's dad? Because they said mom's ex. Okay, I'm wondering. So they look at the ring and they talk about her family. They talk about her nieces and how they are so excited about her and this marriage. They've always asked her, when is she going to get married and have her own kids? And she says she picked him because he was attentive, he chose her, and he's special. He says they bonded on family values and wanting kids. And they asked, it didn't alarm you that he was engaged before? She's like, no, not at all. But she has a great career, house, and, she wants someone to share her life with. And I'm like, y'all remember Joe wanted to move in, right? He wanted to move from that studio apartment in the sky to her place because she got a house. So Mike, mom's ex, okay, we need to know how does this connect? He's like, how are you so sure after 3 weeks? I said, daggone it. He's like, I had to divorce your mama. That's what I heard, y'all. That's not what he said. I had to divorce your mama. And we were dating for a long time and married for a while. And you think you know after 3 weeks. So Madison is a good question. We talked about deep conversations about how life would work. This is how, this is how it is and this is how it works. Now the sisters are at ease. Mama looks like one of the sisters, y'all. Mama just looks like the blonde sister, okay? Mama is aging quite slowly. So they ask more about her. He says this entire situation has reminded him of everything he felt for her in the past, the love he felt for her. And the song they play is Got You Right. I think Joe has warmed up a bit to her, but I don't know. Allie and Anton, we find out it's 15 days until the wedding. We meet his friends, Joseph and Melissa. Now, his friends tell us that they've been together for 4 months, and they practically moved in together after the first date. So they understand this whole whirlwind, real quick stuff. He said that she cooked for me and I just stayed. I said, daggone it. Sir, no, you can't just stay. You can't stay. So Anton said they have an instant connection. They have the same interests, Allie said. And, Allie says she doesn't like Denver. She's only been here for a year. She doesn't like it. She used to be a travel nurse and she settled here for work. But she's thinking about Florida. Anton said, hey, I like Florida, the yachts, all the lifestyle, but Allie does not want to be on the party scene. But these are not deal breakers for her. But she's like, in this dating world, the hard part is that within 2 years, you have to be kind of talking or getting ready to get married, or it's a waste of time dating. So the girls go to the bathroom and the fellas stay at the table. And this is where the drama is. So the fellas talk. Anton says he felt love for her even before seeing her, and he loves her. And if she says yes, he'll be the happiest man. Now, Melissa is in the bathroom telling Allie all the business, and we listening. She says, I didn't think Anton was the marrying type. And Allie's like, tell me more. And we're like, tell us more. Joseph said, hey, Joseph is Anton's friend. He said, hey, I'm going to tell you, I put a bet on it. I gave it 2 weeks. I was like, deck on it. Melissa is continuing to tell Allie. Now they're going back and forth, okay? She's like, Anton liked the strip clubs. And he and Joseph go together. And Melissa's like, I don't like it. I don't like, them going to the strip clubs. So Allie says, but Anton told me that it's Joseph that liked the strip clubs. But she said she already told Anton it's inappropriate when in a relationship to go to strip clubs. Y'all put it in the comments. Do you think so? Is it inappropriate to go with your buddies to the strip club? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the behavior in the strip club is what I'll be mindful to. How do you behaving when you're in there? So she was also told by Anton that Joe is the big party guy. Okay. And Joe is the one that drinks a lot, not Anton. And Melissa's like, no, girl, it's both. It's both. When they were single, they were out here. And that was about just 4 months ago. Because Joseph and I just been together 4 months. I said, Allie, don't listen fully to Melissa. How did Melissa meet Joe if she wasn't out there partying too? I'm just saying. So in her confessional, Allie says, hey, she was told that Joe is the party guy. Okay. But Melissa's telling her Anton is also the party guy and they party together. But is it true? But she can't see if it is true that he's ready to settle down now after only 4 months of being out of the partying scene. At the table, she goes and tells Anton, oh, you in trouble and we need to talk. And he's like, well, what about? She's like, we can't talk about it right now. I'm like, then why did you bring it up around his friends? I cannot stand when someone does that. We're going to talk about something. Tell me what the subject is or don't bring it up. Wait till we get in the car. Wait till we can talk about it. Don't say, you in trouble? We're going to talk later. No. No. Because now Joseph is looking at you weird. Melissa's looking at, girl, I told you stuff in confidence. Why are you blowing it in my face? But remember, Allie said she could handle grenades. I don't think she could handle this kind of grenade. The song they play is I Don't Know What Dream You Sold. And Allie's feeling like she's been sold a dream by Anton. That is the end of episode 8. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.